Welcome to sports, everybody. The New Providence Basketball Association's best of 5 semifinals continuing last night at the Donald Davis Gym. Up first, the Real Deal Shockers tried to take a 2-0 lead in their series with the male boat Cybots. We pick this one up in the fourth quarter. Cybots nursing a 2-point lead. Tyrone Sands offensive board. Nelson Joseph lays it in. Cybots with a 3-on-2 advantage here. Ernest Saunders goes off the glass. Off the inbound, Antonio Ferguson inside for 2 of his 13. Saunders taking this one straight to the hole. He's called for the offensive foul, and that gives the Shockers fans something to cheer about. Ferguson with the ball again here. This one's up and in, and he's pumped up. Barrington Carter cutting through the Cybots defense. This one too easy. With time running out, the Cybots starting to pull away. Ahmad Boodle leading the way with a game-high 24 points. The Shockers trying to make one last run courtesy of the 3-ball. But even that wouldn't be enough. The Cybots hold on for a 98-90 victory, evening the series at 1-all.
Keep playing with these guys. We already beat them 2 times in the regular season. Now, of course, the regular season has no bearing on the playoff. Shockers is a team, they're not going to sit down and just allow you to beat them. And my guys, they just take it for granted and just feel like we, use our talent and just play basketball. We gotta get stops. If we can't get no stops, we can get beat.
We get away from our game plan a little early, and we just sit back and play them straight up, right? And they make some plays with their big man. But we ain't worrying about that. We just need to take the next 2. That's all we need to do to win this series.
The defending champion Commonwealth Bank Giants on court next against the PJ's Stingers. Stingers needing a win in this one to stay alive, and they played like it early on, taking an 18-15 lead after 1. In the second quarter, though, the Giants finally finding their rhythm. They outscore the Stingers 25-16 in the period and go on for a 101-88 victory to make a repeat trip to the Big Dance. Now, Game 3 between the Cybots and Shockers will be played tomorrow night back at the Donald Davis Gym. Well, after naming its team for the Carifta Track and Field Championships Easter weekend in Bermuda, executives of the B3As held a meeting yesterday at the old Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. Our Charles Fisher was there.
Providence-based athletes of the 70-member team, along with coaches and parents, getting the instructions of what's expected of them in Bermuda. My instruction is to just win, baby. 28 first-timers on this team, having Coach Dianne Woodside with high expectations.
This is an extremely strong team. I think it's probably much stronger than last year's. We have coming back the same athletes from last year, most of them. We'll be joined by an up-and-coming great group of kids that came up this year. So we intend to go down to Bermuda and have a very, very strong team and be very competitive.
Bahamas' strength will come in the under-20 division with 80% of last year's team back to make a run.
It was very difficult choosing that team because we had about 23 qualifiers. We have a maximum 18 persons to be in that area. And we had over 23. We have 4 floaters that we can be used anywhere. We had to put them in the under-20 boys. So we're looking at persons who have met the average standard for the 3 third best championships up to now. So we have a wonderful under-20 boys team, all of whom are qualified for the team. Under-20 girls, of course, what can I say about under-20 girls? Shanae Miller, Anthony Strawn. We have Olympic A qualifiers on this particular team, joined by last year's gold medalists, and then the 17 girls, 100 and 200, both of them, for a wonderful 4x1. So we have an extremely strong team, and if we just keep our kids focused and prepare them well, they're going to perform really, really well.
Last year in Jamaica, the Bahamas sent a warning. This year in Bermuda, Caribbean countries, beware.
I think we're going to shock them. They're not going to get as much gold and silver as they usually get because we're going to get some. We definitely will give them a run for their money, and they're going to be surprised and shocked what the Bahamas has to offer this year.
Last year, Team Bahamas finished second overall with 30 medals. That should increase this year. Good luck to all. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Charles Fisher.
All right, thanks a lot, Charles. Well, the Alpheus Hawk Finlayson 5 and 10K Classic is fast approaching. It starts 7 a.m. on April 7th at Tino Beach in Grand Bahama. Ricardo Lightborn recently caught up with organizer Mark Roberts.
Name of the Bahamas wherever he go. I had the great honor of seeing him talking to Robin Roberts recently. who is Robin Roberts. You know, she's the lead anchor host for Good Morning America. And so we're proud to just have him as the ambassador and one of the chief carriers of this name and this event to the world.
Tyrone Thurston has been around road racing circuit for a while and looks forward to the Grand Bahama segment of running this race, and he hopes all goes well.
The race will be not only just a race, but an event that would also attract tourism to the destination. One of the things that Grand Bahama need to work on and will be working on so far as the tourist aspect is concerned is developing activities that would create the kind of excitement, would generate the kind of enthusiasm to make it truly exciting.
Patron Alphys Arc Finlayson is humbled by the honor and hopes Grand Bahama will benefit from the event as being a major destination for sports.
One of the most significant things with this is that we welcome people to come to Grand Bahama over the Easter weekend, and that's a significant thing. Not only runners, but their families and people associated with them. So I'm very happy with this.
Well, Ed Smith, the first Bahamian to play in the NFL, in town recently. Our Julian Gibson had a chance to speak to him about his life after football.
Spending time in Denver, also looking at spending a lot more time in the Bahamas now. Pretty much semi-retired, so looking to come back here and spend a lot more time back home.
What are some of the things you want to do when you come back?
Well, sports has always been something that's close and dear to my heart, so hopefully see what areas I can get into in that regard to help out, in any shape or form that's possible or necessary.
When you look at the number of Bahamians trying to get into the NFL, I know you're not pleased with that process because there are few and a precious few when you look at it.
Yeah. NFL is a very tough hill to climb. The 1,800 positions that are available, and every year, there are a few thousand folks trying to knock those 1,800 out of the box. So I think that, it's a nice target to set your sight on, but, even just getting to the collegiate level, I think it's quite a feat. So, I think sometimes kids might aim too high in terms of saying, I want to play in the NFL, but, just starting and saying, I want to play collegiate football. I'd like to get a scholarship for that. Start there, and then, let the rest to take us, things will take its course from there.
Now, having played with the Denver Broncos, Smith also spoke about veteran quarterback Peyton Manning taking his talents to the Mile High City.
Spending a lot of money on Peyton, and I guess they've done their due diligence in making sure that he's still healthy, because he missed all of last year. He put $28 million in the bank, and they think that he can come back and play some more. So I just hope that he's healthy, because, when you think about it, there's 300-pound guys chasing him to knock his head off. So hopefully he can withstand that.
And finally in the segment, Dr. Daniel Johnson introducing some much-needed medical equipment and treatments to assist our high school athletes. Hugh Campbell MVP Angelo Lockhart was the first to be examined.
It can also show people you can add joy to your life by being physically robust. And how do you do this? You make it a habit. Excellence doesn't just happen. Excellence is a habit, which means that you do it again and again. You get used to it. One day you begin enjoying it. Malcolm Gladwell has his book called Outliers, which I recommend to every high school student in the Bahamas. And that's what he talks about, making excellence a habit. So this is just one of the habits that these young men can evolve.
And that will do it for Sports.